Öğlen yemeğinden önce sizlere doyurucu bir tasarım sunumuyla baş başa bırakmak istiyoruz. Tasarım yelpazesi ve çalışmalarının kalitesiyle uluslararası alanda takdir gören Christophe Pillet, mimarlık, ürün, mobilya, iç mekan ve sahne tasarımı, sanat yönetmenliği gibi birçok alanda çalışan multidisipliner bir tasarımcı. Aldığı birçok ödülün yanı sıra 1994'te Salon du Meubles'de yılın tasarımcısı seçilen Pillet, Cecotti için tasarladığı koltukla 2012 yılında Wallpaper Tasarım Ödülü'ne layık görüldü. Kendisini Tasarım adlı sunumunu yapmak üzere sahneye davet ediyoruz.
Merci. Good morning, everybody. My name is Christophe Pillet. I repeat because I don't know what was said. I'm going to speak in English, in a bad English. I'm French. A while ago, when the organization Vitra asked me to talk about a theme which was called What's Next, I was very much in perplexity. I was in perplexity because I thought that if I would know what would be next, I would be rich and I would be not talking to you this morning. But this is not the case, and I'm very happy to be here with you. It's also to be more serious because I'm a designer, and I believe that the evolution in design is not revolution. I don't really believe in revolution. Maybe because I have not imagination, maybe because I'm too lazy, but what I try to do in thinking about what's next in my professional pratique is more how to put millimeters by millimeters going one step beyond. And maybe when you have made several steps, maybe when you look backward, you can see that you made a distance that was this what's next. Even if you don't have any goals at the beginning, just how to go forward, how to make things different with only target, only goal, which is how can we live in a better way? How can we make people more happy to live their environment? Stop talking and let's have a look to some images. I'm going to talk about my work, sorry about that again. I was born in '59 and I'm a typical guy raised in modernity. You know, modernity, we were all believing that the future will be much better for the people, that future will be great. A few years after, when I started my professional pratique, everything was dark, everything was impossible, no future, no money, crisis, and I say something went wrong. I mean, when I was young, everything was possible, then now nothing is possible. So what did I do at the beginning? I went back in some models of mid-century moderns, when modernity was happy, when modernity was optimistic, when modernity had a project to make people living much better. And I tried copying, let's say copying, yes, few models of the big masters. But it was not just copying the aesthetical that I was not caring. It was trying to find a mood, a new mood, more industrial, more mass market, more generous in a way to share with a lot of people. How can we go back to the concept where things were made for making people happy? So these are a few examples of chairs that I did at this time. And one of key issues for me, for not being accused of plagiat, of copying too much, was cleaning and cleaning and cleaning what was too conservative or what was too old-fashioned. And I came to decide that simplicity was a good ingredient, was a good tool for trying to make steps beyond. Simplicity for me is not a sort of humility, it's not discretion. Simplicity is the opposite, it's the capacity to speak to a lot of people, to be universal. There is universality in simplicity. Everybody knows that if we have a complex discourse, discussion, talk, speech, not a lot of people will understand. But when you're simple, when the story are said in a very simple way, a lot of people understand. Then you can share this with more people and not being exclusive. I was also looking at this time, and still now, what to do with technology. And I take the example of this table, for example, which was made for Magis in Italy. And another example is this little vase, a colorful vase I made last year for Cartel, another Italian company. What I'm doing with these things, it's not a revolution. I try to use the extreme technology, but not for the product to look techno. You know, I don't care about technology. I think in my job, I care about the emotion of people in front of an object. Just to remember that we are not buying products. I'm talking in our rich societies, because we need products. We don't need products. We all have cars, bicycles, refrigerators, sofa, chairs, and they're working perfectly well. We don't need them. We have them. We just desire new things. And my problem as a designer is how I can feed, I can introduce, I can put desire into a product to make it desirable, seductive, in a way that people can buy it and can build their environment. And the technology here, like you know the toys, the Playmobil, this is the maximum of technology, really the maximum of injection molding, of how we can make movements with plastic things. It's just for playing, it's just for having fun, and I like this idea. Going back to simplicity, I also believe that in our domestic environment, in our human environment, we are the heroes, we are the main actors. If we are building architecture, I don't want to talk architecture in front of you because I'm... But let's talk about design. What is important in our life, in our environment? It's us. It's not, I want to be the hero in my home. I don't want to be submerged. I don't want to be hidden by the product. So with the simplicity, with an economy of shapes, with an economy of volumes, of quantity, I try to reduce to the max the quantity of the product, but to enhance to the max the quality and the emotion of the products. That means trying to make products that are smaller, lighter, more transparent, almost disappearing, almost being the shape of a body. We don't, if you're dressed in white and sitting in this chair, you almost don't see the chair. Going to the minimum, not being minimalist. I don't really care. I don't know exactly what is minimalist. I try to find the essence of the emotion, the essence of my story. And sometimes going to an expression that is almost a graphic composition. It's making a product like a logo. It's no longer building a micro monument. It's just making a nice graphic that's turned into a real object. This is another example as a table. This is another example as the cosmetic bottles for Shuemura. This is nothing else than a bottle, but it's translucent, but you see through, you just see the essence of the color, the essence of the well-being, what's inside. Going to this is outdoor furniture. There is also one interesting thing. It's in our modern society, we divide furniture into public furniture and private furniture. Furniture for everybody, hotels, gardens, terrace, and domestic furniture for home. Domestic furniture is always nicely done, with the right materials, nice materials, they're nice. When you go to outdoor furniture, it's always bad materials, it's ugly, it's disgusting. And I say, this is strange, this is strange. There is no reason. The person who's sitting in his sofa at home is the same person who's sitting outdoor in a park. The product we are designing, we are producing, should have the same attention, the same quality. So this is an example of how we can make progress, I hope, in making some parts of furniture, the outdoor furniture, more human, more attentive, with more emotional attention to people. I go fast because there is a lot of images and it's only a few times. So everything is talking about the same thing here. How can we put a strong emotion, character, a strong visibility, but with less, an economy of materials. There is a strange thing, it's an anecdote about that. The model of rich and expensive today is always big. When you say to people, I have a nice car, it's always a big car. Say, oh, this is a nice sofa, it's always a big sofa. Nice could be also reduced, could be small, could be saving energy, could be saving. So this is what I try to do in providing emotions, but with an economy of materials. Even when some of products are not looking really modern, this is also an example of how can we put some of history, some reference to classicism into very simple products. Simplicity, as this chair, which is very natural, comes sometimes through very complex process, as you can see. So simplicity is sometimes hard to achieve. Going back to simplicity, to how can we make evolutions, this is a nice project. This is 20-something years that we're collaborating with this company called Cecoti, who's considered as the most expert company for producing wood furniture in Italy. The problem are two. They are very good, and then they are Italians. Very good is okay. Italians, I don't know. Why, I don't know. Because they're always, as Italian, expressing, you know, they want to make noise, they want to show off, they want tra-la-la. This is always Barocco. And at the end, I was saying, all this expertise, of this hand intelligence, they're going to die in their classicism. This is ridiculous. Let's try to find them, for them, a language that is really expressing their maestria in doing things in the best way, but in a very, let's say, new generation way. It's something I can understand. A bed is a bed. It's not a building or phantomatic stuff. It's just, it's not a car. It's not a truck. It's a bed. It's a chair. So this is what I do, try to do with them, how to express the quality of the craftsmanship of these people, but in a very, very settled language. Same exercise with a glass company from Murano. They are very good and they are very Italian. This is the same story, but they are doing glass. How can we make this glass like dreamy? This is hand-blown. This is fantastic. This is from Venice. But have you been in Murano one day? It looks like a Grand Bazaar of Shanghai. You know, everything is little toys, it's ugly. Oh, I mean, 500 years of tradition, just to make a little clowns with red stuff. This is ridiculous. So let's try to make things alla grande. So we made those vases, lamps, small lamps, bigger lamps, where we try to express what is quality into this glass and the manufacturing of the glass, but not in the language that is the traditional language that is getting old-fashioned. This is the same story. How can we make classic pieces of furniture, vitrine, chest, but in a language that allows transparencies, that allows to see through, that allows to be in a context of modernity? Then one day I became an interior architect. It's just like my generation, we were all like, it's not something which is personal. It happened like this. And someone asked me to make shops. So I said, okay, I will make shops. So I don't know how to make shop. What's important in a shop for me? What is important is still the same thing. What story I'm going to tell to people? A shop for me is the place where a creator, a brand, is expressing its value, its imaginary, its philosophy. And the shop is nice not because you have a nice carpet and a nice wallpaper. This is nice because it's telling the right story. And it's telling it, it's narrative. So the modernity and the what's next here is how can we express only the story of this creator, of this brand, without being polluted by the conformism of making interiors of shops. So we decided to make shops that doesn't look like shops. We have partition walls, but they look like big sculpture. We have lamps, but they are looking like chandeliers. There is a shop which is divided in several corners or sectors, but it's like a landscape. You can walk through, you can walk around. So this is a moment where you emerge with the brand. It's not just a cash machine where the client is just a wallet with legs and just going around taking the t-shirt. This is an experience. And this is more here, it starts to be more a work of scenography. It's a shop, an hotel, we'll see some hotels. It's no longer a commercial it's no longer a commercial space. Of course it is, it has to make cash. But it's a space where you have a spectacle, a show. It's a show, but it's an honest show. It's a true show where you expose for 15 minutes of your visit, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, half an hour, the entire story of the brand and the story of the creator, his particularity, what's making him different, his point of view. So these are experience and shops, and these are, for example, the last shops I did for Jean-Claude Gitrois, which is a luxury brand for leather. It's no longer architecture. We don't know exactly what it is. It's made with mirror, it's made with reflecting materials. There is no architecture, there is no structure. Everything is an effect. So it's an effect, it's purely providing an emotion, providing a narrative, a story. You are not obliged to like. Then someone asked me to make hotels. Hotel for a designer is wonderful. You know, when you're making, when you're a designer, you have in mind to transform the life of people. You want to show your project for a new life. And you, of course, the environment. So you're building an environment for people. But this environment, at the end of the day, you're making spoons, you're making carpets, you're making a chair. It does not make a big stuff, a big scale. It's difficult. So when someone asking you to make an hotel, you have everything. You have a building, you have spaces, you have people. We can expect we have people. And you can invent a story of a life. And when I started making an hotel, this hotel in Paris, I had two main questions. One was fun. Fun was complex. Was I am a designer and my client want me to make a design hotel. No problem with design hotel. But we all know design hotels. We have been in design hotels. They're great, they're published in trendy magazines, in wallpaper, and you're proud to say, I was there in New York, I was there in Hong Kong. But when you have good friends asking you, do you have a good address for an hotel? It's never a design hotel. It's always a charming hotel. I say, what's wrong with this? And this is true, I'm not lying, I'm sure it's the same for you. You never advise the people to go to the Marriott. You advise to go in a small boutique hotel along the Bosphorus, it's where it's hidden. And this is strange, this is very strange. So what is this charm? We don't know exactly what it is, charm. It's made of emotion, it's made of reference to this story, it's a bit nostalgic. And I asked to myself, is it possible to produce charm, cleaning, what's not nostalgical, what's historical, what's not modern in it. I don't know if you achieve it, but this is still the project. For example, this is another hotel. It's in the south of France, it's another context, it's vacation, it's like Bodrum, it's Saint-Tropez. Saint-Tropez is the Bodrum of France. And here the idea was providing an emotion or a true emotion of vacation. What is the emotion of vacation for people? What is the true substance that really put you 100% in an emotion of vacation? I've tried to find images related to that. But for me, it was not images. It was things very abstract. For me, vacation is the smell of the skin when you have sunburns, for example. It's the sound of the sea on the sand. This is more powerful as sensation than any kind of images. So we worked on this hotel on these ideas. Everything, every materials, every shape, dimension, distance, here, every pieces of furniture is made on this idea of providing this. It's not a good-looking hotel that I want to. This is not my goal. Of course, I prefer it would be that it will be good-looking. But my goal is making an expressive hotel where when I go back from this hotel, I can say, wow, that was vacation. This is about the same discussion. This is, oops, I was fast on that, but these are more hotels. This is the context in Morocco, so I have to integrate myself in a context. This is also the second question when you're making an hotel. We have been consuming hotels international style for years and years. Remember when we were going not only hotels, but in shops, in Buenos Aires, in Tokyo, in New York, in Paris. You open the door of Prada, same people, same music, same color, same product, everywhere on the planet. Everything was leveled, no more contrast. And it started to be annoying. So just to get rid of this annoying stuff, I said, among others, let's try to go back to a local culture, to a context that will provide something characteristic, that's specific. And I try to be helped by my context. I am not doing Moroccan architecture. I am not Moroccan. I have too much respect for Moroccan culture to try to fake it. So I try to insert myself, providing a contemporary emotion, but of a local context. This is another hotel. And this is a restaurant. Why I like to, because I was talking about the local, this is in Casablanca. Casablanca, and it looks like a Chinese, Hong Kong style, international style restaurant. It's a restaurant. This is for me very local, but it's a bit décalé. Casablanca is the most show-off city of Morocco. There is no cities in Africa, because this is Africa, where they have as many Ferrari, Cayenne, Bentley, Maserati. It's a show-off. And the local culture here was not only architectonic, it was social. It was lacking something that was show-off. So this is my local interpretation of Casablanca, with all the respect for people from Casablanca. This is maybe maybe this is to finish another project. I've been for 10 years creative director at Lacoste, you know, the crocodile company. And I am not selling you any polo or t-shirt today. But what was nice here, to go back to what's next, ID, was I've been asked 10 years ago to be part of the project of Lacoste because the company was getting old-fashioned. It was losing clients. It was getting a bit old style, a bit ringard, as we say in French. I don't know how to translate this in Turkish. And they decided to push to bring fresh blood in the company. I was part a long time ago, fresh blood, no longer, but at this time. And what we did all together, it was not making a revolution. We never said we're going to make a new story, we're going to make like this or like that. We just took the existing story. This was existing, the story of Lacoste, the story of Mr. Lacoste, the values, the imaginary, the qualities, what people expect from this brand was already existing. What was wrong at this time, and it's not finished, the project, was just that this story was not expressed, was not told with the right language. It was told in a language that was no longer understandable by the people. These are not the values that were not wrong. It was not the imaginary that was wrong. It was just, you know, it's like if someone is telling you a story in a foreign language, or in a bad way of, or in a old Ottoman language, maybe you will have a hard time to understand it and you will find it uninteresting. But if you have an interpret, a translator, that is taking the same story and put it in a way that you understand exactly what are the values, what are the strong things, what are the dreaming elements of this company, is just enough to raise again. So for me, the design, so I'm going to show you some product we did. These were only products of inspiration product. Not many has been sold. It was just, if we, Lacoste, are doing things with technology, how can we do it? For example, technology, the mobile phone. What is the problem of the mobile phone? If it's done by a lifestyle company, a sportswear company, a casual company like Lacoste, it's when you're losing your telephone, you're losing your life. You don't have the address, telephone planning, photo, picture. You're losing a big amount of things. So can we make a second telephone, which is nothing, just good enough to call, that's it. If you lose it, you know, like glasses, sometimes you have glasses you can buy to a pharmacy. You don't look very great with it, but it's okay, you can see. This is this kind of product. It's also floating, because in Lacoste, if you make boats and your telephone is going aboard, it's floating. Sometimes it was purely graphic, sometimes it was expressing our collaboration in eyewear. Can we make an helmet that looks like a nice pair of eyewear and not like a super techno Harley-Davidson man? Also, can we design by the minimum just the graphic part of the story of Lacoste? How can we talk about technology and also the timeless things with headphones? How can we make skis that are just support for graphic patterns? Surfboards with nothing, just engraved. All the decoration here, just play with the light. It's just sun and shadow. Golf clubs that don't look like old-style golfers, you know, like my grandfather. And also more playful stuff like pétanque, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on. Helmets again. We are taking here technology. I called it a contamination of technology. You get technology from a sector like the eyewear, and you try to make a product which is very similar. You know, the lens of a helmet, using those flash effects with providing very nice colors. I will finish on this to be polite with my sponsor, Vitra. I just showed 3 projects here, which are not projects for sale. It was part of the discussion. And here the next step, because I always believe that when a company is asking a designer to do a project, is to what to do in the future, in the near future, but in the future. And when you see Vitra, whose only expertise in a wide range of sector, ceramic, metal, tabs, furniture, they all have a very nice range of pieces in each sector, but they never try to match all together. Can we make a nice piece of furniture made by Vitra, a service furniture, we're talking about bathroom, which accommodate, which integrate the ceramic, the water, and the wood cabinets all together to make a new typology of product. This is not revolutionary, but in a way that maybe this company has got a specificity, which is this expertise. If all these expertise work together, integrated, we can have something which is very new, which is not possible for others to make on the market. And this was, for example, our bathroom, a bathtub could be a piece of furniture. And there was also another idea here. That was an idea which is, for me, the limit of the bathroom. What does it mean? People like to change their environment. What is modern is being able, not like before, you know, to change every 2 years, 3 years. I want to change because we also have our personal evolution and we want to change the environment. If I want to change my salon, I can buy a new sofa, I can buy new chairs, a new table, a new lamp, not all together, and I can change completely. It's easy. I go to the shop and I buy my sofa, and 2 days after I have the sofa and I change my apartment. I want to change my bathroom. I need an architect. I need a building company. I need to spend 3 years of income because it's incredibly expensive, all this work. I cannot change the bathroom. Can we make in the bathroom things that are simple enough to be changed, like a sofa, like a table? I mean, plug-and-play system. So this, for example, was a plug-and-play project where a bathroom is just a cabinet, where you have one side is the wash basin, the other side is the shower. You can put it everywhere you want, with a little work on the floor, to be nice with your neighbor. And this was the idea of plug and play. But it's finished. I have 13 seconds, and I was too long. And maybe if you have 1 or 2 questions, thank you very much for listening to me. I have 5 more minutes. I can dance, sing, make a... I have 5 more minutes, but I don't have more to say. I have more project, but no, just being back to be serious. Going back to the introduction again. Next step, as maybe you understood in this project, are few millimeters, few décalage, few sometimes very tiny modifications that make, again, step by step, something that goes away from tradition, that goes away from the pre-existing models. 4 more minutes, so I have to furnish the silence. When you're a designer, I could be more revolutionary, more futuristic, designing extraordinary things, or designing a kitchen that is also a bedroom, that is also... Why? What's the use of it? And when you go back to the use, this question of what do we need sincerely in our life? And I think design is really dedicated to feeding the needs of people. And if you really analyze what are our needs, everyday needs, the substantial, essential needs, it's like prehistorical human. Eating, making love, sleeping, having fun. So all we have to deal is just with this. All the rest, the high-tech thing, the connectivity, it will last for a few years. This is not the substance of our way of life. So I try to concentrate myself on our chair. You know, a chair, it's 5,000 years that it's 4 legs, a seat, and a backrest. The typology is not different. People think a designer is inventing typology. We are not inventing typology. I take an existing chair and I put on a chair a dress that is telling a story, that allows me to have a different point of view. I am using a chair, a sofa, a spoon as a media, like a magazine, like a book, where I write my stories. That's it. Thank you very much.
Çok teşekkürler Christophe'ye ve herhalde biraz mola verme zamanı, ne dersiniz? Afiyet olsun, öğle yemeği vakti. 1 saat sonra tekrar görüşeceğiz.